Yeah, I'm going to go with the first half play. I'm going to go with the Eagles -3 against the Cardinals. You're taking a big spread here, which I am not feeling great about for the full game for the Eagles. But looking at the Eagles, they've been one of the best teams in the first half, a perfect 4-0 against the spread in the first half. And looking at the Cardinals, they've been one of the worst teams at covering the number in the first half this season. A measly 0-4 against the number. So I think the Eagles can come out swinging in this one. It's been the second half where sometimes the Eagles take their foot off the gas pedal. So I'm going to go with the Eagles in the first half. Clearly, it's a mismatch. That's why the Eagles are 5.5.5 favorites on the road at the Cardinals. They look like the best team in football. So let's ride the Eagles in the first half, -3.
Chelsea, I like that pick quite a bit, but I'm going to go Eagles full game. I like Eagles. I believe now that's been bet down to Eagles -5. Money is coming in on the Cardinals. I cannot make a case for Arizona. I just can't do it. I can't do it. The Cardinals are 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 games at home. And I know the Eagles are not going to go through the entire season undefeated. At some point, we'll come back probably on Monday with a few games and say, well, that's the NFL. Winning is tough in pro football. I understand all of that, but I'm on the Eagles full game. Kickoff set, regardless of how you're betting it, 4:25 in the desert on Sunday.
Pick six. Pick six.
All right,
All
let's
right,
get
Jenks.
to it here. Yeah, let's go. All right, Dolphins at the Jets. Dolphins are only laying 3 points. Who made this line? Vegas Dave? This is ridiculous. The Jets are getting far too much credit for beating a Steelers team that is absolutely in rebuild mode. Now, the only thing that gives me pause, Chelsea, is that we've seen money coming on the Jets. This line hasn't moved. All they've done is juice it to -120 to lay the 3. And so when I don't see the number move, it makes me think, this is a little fishy. Still, Kenny Pickett threw 3 interceptions last week, and we're supposed to give the Jets credit for that. I do not. My man Teddy Two Gloves will not do that. When most quarterbacks go into each and every single game with bare hands, there is one man who covers both of his. Teddy Bridgewater. In his career, 24-6 against the number on the road. Teddy covers, Teddy Two Gloves. He's got plenty of weapons around him. And also, Zach Wilson is back in just his second game. He's going to be too busy throwing interceptions and thinking about a newly single Giselle because he likes the MILFs. Give me the Dolphins laying the 3 at the Meadowlands.
Yeah, I like the Dolphins here too, just because I think it's built into the number that Teddy Bridgewater is the backup quarterback. And honestly, I feel like there shouldn't be that much of a drop off. Teddy Bridgewater, we have seen, is excellent at covering numbers. You bring up all the against the spread numbers, especially on the road. So Teddy Bridgewater comes prepared, even when it's on the road, and especially when you're getting this game at a field goal. And here's the matchup that I'm looking at. In each of the games, except for one, the Jets have allowed at least one receiver to go over 100 yards. How do you think that matches up against a guy like Tyreek Hill that we've seen? Teddy Bridgewater can get the ball down the field. He had a deep ball on Thursday Night Football, or was it Monday Night Football, against the Bengals, in which he slung it and Tyreek Hill did the rest. So I think that the Dolphins can put up some points here on this Jets secondary that has some good young pieces, but still are allowing number 1 receivers to feast. So let's take the Dolphins on the road here, -3. If you want to watch that one, kickoff set for 1 Eastern in New York.
Pick six. Pick six.
All right, Chelsea. This might seem like a square play. And I got to tell you, I don't care. Because as we saw last week, sometimes the square side, sometimes the public side is the right side. Raiders at the Chiefs. This is a Monday Night Football game in Kansas City. The Chiefs are laying 7 points. And, it's really fascinating. A funny thing has happened when it comes to Kansas City. About 2 years ago, when the Chiefs were really getting going and they'd won a Super Bowl, they were covering numbers at an incredible rate. And the public kept cashing. Then what happened? Well, what always happens? Vegas caught up. And so The Chiefs went from a covering machine to a team that started losing bettors money because they regressed a little bit last season. This year, I thought they would miss Tyreek Hill. They have not. They are better than ever. They have a great defense now. And once again, Vegas is just a touch behind on how good this Kansas City team is. It's been a roller coaster as far as Kansas City against the number. But when you look at them against this Raiders team, man, Patrick Mahomes against the Raiders in his career is 7-1. A touchdown to interception ratio of 22-3. He always lights up the Raiders, and he's getting the Raiders at home in Kansas City, in Arrowhead Stadium, one of the toughest places to play in the NFL on Monday night. This crowd is going to be absolutely insane. As long as this stays at the key number of 7, you should be just fine. Let's go Chiefs, -7, hosting the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit, especially when it's prime time, especially when it is at Arrowhead. And like we said, this is the Monday night game. If you do want to watch that one, it is set for 8:20 Eastern Monday night in Kansas City.
Pick six. Pick six.
All right, next up for me, another first half play is I'll be riding the Ravens in the first half against the Bengals. This line in the full game is a little tricky at 3.5, so I'll take the Ravens in the first half -2.5 under that key number of 3. And plus, the Ravens have been off to excellent starts so far this season. 3-0-1 against the number. So 3 wins and a push and 0 losses, because we've seen the Ravens. The problems come in the second half where they can't stop anybody, it seems like, for some of those comeback losses that they've handed to themselves. So in looking at the Bengals, they've been pretty slow to start in most of these games, 1-3 against the number, especially when this is a home game, a primetime game in front of Baltimore. And plus, this is a Baltimore team that's been really good in primetime, especially under John Harbaugh. I'll take the quarterback and the team I trust a little bit more in the first half, and I'll go Baltimore -2.5 against the Bengals.
Ooh, I've gone back and forth on this game. Initially, I lean Ravens at -3, but now it's Ravens -3.5. I need to look at these first half bets that you keep making, Chelsea, because it's so interesting how different people have different ways of betting. Like, I love run lines in baseball. You're very good at K props. You'll do first half lines in pro football. I do full games. So, different bettors have different ways of betting and looking at things. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's no right or wrong. It's just you sort of play to your strengths and things you like to do. I'm looking at the full game here, and initially, again, I leaned Ravens, but now at 3.5, I think I like the Bengals plus the 3.5, taking advantage of that Baltimore secondary. And until John Harbaugh decides to not go all in on analytics, then I'm going to side with Joe Burrow. Joey B getting it done. This is a field goal game. Give me the Bengals plus 3.5. Kickoff set for 8:20 in Baltimore on Sunday Night Football.
Pick six. Pick six.
Gotta have a dog in here. Browns plus, it's now 2.5. I got the Browns at 3 yesterday, but now it's Browns plus 2.5, hosting the Chargers. I still like the Browns getting the points. I think they can win this game outright. This number doesn't make a lot of sense. This should be a larger spread for the Chargers. Why? Well, because we saw the Browns last week lose to the Falcons, but Atlanta is actually much better than we thought. I know Double D is sort of happy about that because he likes the Falcons, but he wanted a higher draft pick. But this is about matchups, and you're getting value on Cleveland because of that loss to the Falcons. Simply put, the Chargers do not match up well against the Browns. The Chargers do not stop the run. They can't do it. 31st in the NFL. What do the Browns want to do? They want to hand off the football. That's why you're on a Nick Chubb prop. I'm on a Nick Chubb anytime touchdown. By the way, that number is astronomical now at BetMGM, so it's not worth your time now. I got it yesterday when it was cheaper. Justin Herbert is not 100%. I think that Browns defensive front gives him problems, so I will be happy to take Browns plus 2.5 at home against the Chargers. Give me the dog.
Ooh, I like that. Like I said, I think the run game is set up for a good spot here. And then a bonus pick for you, because I know we only do 3 each. I really like the Cowboys getting 5.5, and it scares me that the Rams this spread has actually gone towards the Rams because it was 4.5. But Jenks, talk me off the Cowboys getting 5.5 against the Rams.
I can't. I just can't do it. The only thing I can say is, well, money's coming in on the Rams, but you can't follow the money blindly. A Cowboys defense is no joke, and the Rams cannot run the ball. Well, they've got to find a way to run the ball more consistently because they are too one-dimensional. They've always skewed towards the pass, and I get that. But they've got to be more two-dimensional to be more effective. I like that Dallas defense. I like the Cowboys and the points.
Yeah, especially at 5.5, because it's still a game in which they can lose by a field goal or even 5, which happens more than you might think. That's actually a number that NFL games land on quite frequently.